All right, welcome back. You're still watching Morning Live here on SABC 2 and SABC News Channel 404. We're still coming to you live from Harib Dam in the Free State province this morning, whereby we're looking into, a whole range of issues in relation to the province, but I also invited you to talk to us about any questions that you might have or concerns, or even if it's just compliments, Premier. If things are being done right, I mean, we also are looking for compliments, isn't it? Yes. All right, keep them coming at Morning Live SABC. Just before we went to an ad break, I was talking to some of the MECs that are not present here on the panel, just to get their views on the budget as well as what transpired on the State of the Province address. Let me just quickly go back to the table. MEC Benny Malakwani from Distia, that's Environmental Affairs, Tourism, Small Businesses, a whole lot of things in your department. Good morning to you.
Morning, ma'am, and morning to the viewers of Morning Live.
Your take on the budget? I mean, I would imagine you actually the center stage of everything if we are talking radical economic transformation.
No, for sure. Let me just echo the sentiments as were expressed by MEC Rockman on the fact that there are so much unlimited ones that are placed on the limited resources that are available for radical economic transformation. Much as we welcomed the budget, the fact of the matter remains that we wouldn't be getting any new money or any additional money over and above what we have received or what ordinarily gets to be allocated to provinces for various other reasons. So what has to happen is that there are some reprioritizations that we have to do, some trade-offs, and our ability to seek more alternatives on what we can do to implement a radical economic transformation. It's not an easy task because growing the economy requires quite a cocktail of factors that have to be taken into consideration. For instance, if we say economic growth has to be done in an intensive manner, it means there has got to be efficiency of inputs. And if we talk about those inputs being either human capital or physical capital or energy, as has been said by Ntate Chose, Tsweu, and all the others that said we are now seeing the days of power outages being a thing of the past. That creates favorable nidus for investment. Now, if we say we have to do it in an extensive manner, it means we just have to increase the amount of inputs. Same as I've said, you increase the amount of human capital, physical capital, and venture into new territories. Those are not easy things to do, but the resilience that we need to build has to enable us to continue moving forward regardless.
All right, and we're seeing tourism doing great in the province, contributing a lot towards the economic growth of the province. So
the stage is set.
Yeah,
the stage is set.
Oh, no, there you have it, MEC Benny Malakwani from Distia. Let me move on to MEC Mahasa from the Department of Social Development, and I would imagine people watching from home in the province are like, the pensions are on with the whole Sasa Debekel. But let's not go there. For now, let's not go there. Let's talk about the allocation of your department.
No, thank you, Palisa. Let me also acknowledge the leadership that is sitting in front. I'm sure people are aware that social development is also getting a chunk of money. The reason behind this is because social development you are dealing with, it cuts across all departments. You talk about education, you talk about police, you talk about almost everything. So that's why we are saying, actually we need more. This is just a little, it will assist, but then we need more.
Money is never enough, ne?
It's never enough.
It's never enough.
Especially when we are dealing with social development, because we are dealing with people who are hungry, who needs food. We are dealing with kids who doesn't have uniform to go to school, That's why I'm saying we need more.
Even our salaries are never enough, but it's fine.
That's fine. At least you understand. Let me also indicate to you that I'm quite excited that we are going to open a rehabilitation center It's in Clarence, so we are going to open it end of April, whereby we are going to deal with these kids who are using nyaope, drugs and everything. So it's going to be open, and we are going to employ people there. And the other thing, I know we are a bit worried because we need more social workers. That's another thing that we are going to do. We are going to employ about 15 social workers, so we are getting there, slowly but surely.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much. That's the MEC for Social Development in the Free State, MEC Makima Hasa. Let's move on to MEC Oupa Khwabane from the Department of Agriculture. How is the province doing, MEC?
Morning, ma'am, and the viewers at home. The province is doing well now. We are recovering from the effects of drought. What we are focusing on now as part of radical economic transformation is to ensure that we move from primary production to industrialization, where we focus on agro-processing, because as a province we have a comparative advantage of a fertile soil, and a lot of people are looking at products of our province, but they want them as primary products. Our maize, our fruits, everything, they want it as a primary good. Now we are then saying, for us to ensure that we create more jobs, we must then process all those primary products that we have in the province. Tilling our land, expanding our production by tilling the land more, but also ensuring that we then process all those products that we have. So we'll be focusing on agro-processing moving forward.
All right, thank you so much, MEC Oupa Khwabane from the Department of Agriculture. We're moving to MEC Dora Kotsia from the Department of Public Works. Goeiemôre, MEC, en baie welkom.
Palisa, baie dankie, dis goed om hier te wees. Public Works and Infrastructure is dealing with the infrastructure of government, like your schools, building of schools, hospitals, clinics, etc. But the important part of Public Works is the expanded Public Works program that was set in by President in 2009. Now, before I can go to that one, Palisa, let me assure you that we are getting, slowly but surely, we are getting there by closing the apartheid special program plan, by building schools in our, by having clinics in this ANC government, setting up clinics in our previously disadvantaged areas, and also with the hospitals. If I can say, Palisa, from 2009 up to 2015, we have built 215 new schools, which is very good for the previously disadvantaged communities. The issue of the public expansion program, Palisa, it is a program that our Premier really is hands-on. And even in his State of the Province address, that program assists our previously disadvantaged people to have skills, to set up roads. You can drive all over in the Free State, Palisa. Whenever you get into a township, you won't get out without you seeing people working there in their orange overalls, putting bricks and try to beautify our previously disadvantaged areas. I thank you.
All right, thank you so much. You made mention of an important issue of roads in the Free State Province. MEC Mashinen, I'm going to come to that. The state of the roads in the Free State Province is something else. But just before we do that, let me quickly go to the floor, quickly on table number 42. That is where Tumi Mukhwera is seated. Tumi, good morning to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Palisa, and thank you so much also for our provincial leadership. My question is directed to the Premier. In the province, I would like to believe that our Premier has shown us a visionary leadership in so many ways. We have seen the success of education, but also very recently, the province managed to host the National Community Radio Week. And then in that project, the Premier managed to actually support it and actually even get to a point where he actually even sponsoring it. Now, I'm sure the province like to know, including South Africa, as in for the Premier to be able to be in a position to support a project of that nature, what is it that in terms of the message that the Premier actually sending throughout South Africa, what does he see as the provincial role, including the private sector, being involved in the development of the community radio media broadcast? I thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Tumi. Talking about the community radio station, a tweet from Tumi Mudibedi. We've just been given a chance to coordinate the National Community Radio Awards, and we're looking forward to coordinate Makufe. A quick one on this one, Premier, because I want to touch on the issue of roads just before I release this panel. Premier?
Well, we are going to fund all the community radio. We'll have this week for the next 4 years. That's what we have agreed. And in our budget, the MEC have also, Treasury, have also talked about supporting community media. We have set aside 4 or 5 million rands for community media. We are going to work together with our community newspapers, community radio. All departments will ensure, and our municipalities will ensure that we work together with them, because that's one of our resolutions to set them up. So I'm happy that we have done it, and the issue of roads, I'm sure Mashinini will respond, but definitely when we came in 2009, people were complaining about 23 roads, we built them, they still complained. Free State is better than any other province when it comes to roads. We must also go to the townships and see what we have done in 21 townships. And we put in more money. This year we're putting 180 million, and we'll see, I'm sure we'll make it about 500 million for township roads. We shouldn't just think about roads where we all traveled. The township roads created by apartheid were bad. And that's why the focus is also there.
Yeah. Let me see, Mashinen. When I travel from Johannesburg to go see my parents in Ficksburg, I have options for 3 routes that I can use. I can either use the N1 via Kroonstad, Senekal, Rosendal, Ficksburg. The road between Rosendal and Senekal, it's in a bad state. Or I can use the Lentley-Allington one. I don't want to even talk about that. I had a double puncture that side. This past weekend, I used the Bethlehem-Foresburg-Ficksburg route. I felt like pulling over and, walking home, because the roads are something else. Premier, you're laughing, but you couldn't go either ways. You go that side, everywhere. Talk to us about the initiatives in improving our roads.
Thank you very much. One of the things that some few months ago, I would say a few months ago, because we all cried, we wanted rain. Some of those roads, their condition have changed because of the flooding and the rain. And you would remember that in all the 9 provinces, Free State is one of those provinces that have begun to get more rains, which is good for us. But what is then the implication of that? It then impacts on the road. I agree that there are some of the roads, because of the rain, their condition is not good. But what are we doing with regard to that? I can tell you, I don't want to get deeper into my budget vote, but I can tell you that there are roads that we have identified. I'm not going to talk about it across the Free State. We either going to do the resealing when the budget allows us, but at the same time, what we are going to do another new roads that we are going to do. In the province, I can say up front, there are almost 8 roads that we are going to reconstruct from the beginnings, as scratch. And I can talk to you about, if you know the roads, you're talking about the Rosendal to Ficksburg, you're talking about the one of the Allington. There is another one also around the area of Bothaville to Fitzjohnskroon. It's one of those roads that I have.
The Marquardt road, there's a lot.
Look at the road between Webstad and Wesselsbron. There's no road there. What we are doing, because of the rain, the condition becomes even worse. What we are doing, we are focusing on those roads. Lastly, I want to add, what is the implication of a massive construction in the Free State? You know what we are doing? I'm now carrying the cap of being the chairperson of the economic cluster. I'm saying to you, people will get more jobs through those road construction. People will put bread onto the table.
More jobs, better roads coming your way in the Free State province. We'll hold the MEC to it. We'll definitely hold you on to that one. Well, let me quickly hand back to Leanne in studio. She's just going to go through some tweets that you sent at Morning Live SABC, and I'll be changing the panel quickly. We're going to be focusing on education and the students studying overseas. Stay tuned for that one.